Hello friends, and welcome back. So it's been 4 months since my last clip, which was the assembly of these triangles here for the roof rafters. So I labeled them all. This is how they look like. This is the final product. There is the left side, the bottom center, the top center, and the right side over there. Labeled them all, top left, right, top right. That way they go right.
Racks for the roof.
Yeah, these are rafters for the roof. They call them rafters.
But why are you not putting them on your shed?
I will. I just didn't have time. My son doesn't like it. Okay. So there is a. Hold on, Liam. Can you wait a second?
Yeah.
Just wait a second. Let me do this. Okay. So all of these.
This was like my name.
It's not your name. It has an L, but it's not Liam. So these mending plates, there is 4 of them on each side for the 5 of these, because these will be in the center of the shed. Can you wait a second?
One of them are extra.
Yeah. And these 2, only one side have 4 mending plates. The other side has nothing, because I probably mentioned this previously in previous clips, but I'm just going to repeat it. This will be facing one of the outer edges where the siding will be. Can you wait a second? Can you wait a second? Let me do my video. This one here will be facing the outside, so the siding will sit on it properly. If you put mending plate, will not be sitting right. And the same thing with this one. That's why. Okay. So that is what I have today. It has been 4 months because it's been cold and rainy, and I usually work on this during the weekend and just couldn't. And during the night it gets cold and dark early, but now it's different, so I can maybe work in the evenings. But I'm gonna put these up, and next step is to get a couple or 3 of the 12 feet long studs that will go on top in between all these all these rafters, keep them sturdy, and we will put the roof up, I guess. We'll see. All right guys, so I got the trusses up right there, and as you can see, I have a 2x4 right here on the other side attached all the way up there. So the first gable truss and this other gable truss on this side sit on those supporting 2x4x8. There you can see going all the way up. These will be removed afterwards, but for now I got them there. Yeah, yesterday when I started to work on this, I realized I forgot to put the top plate there. So all around I forgot to do that. Luckily I remembered before I put the trusses on and finish up. So I put 2 of them up, took them down and went back and bought some more wood, and I did the top plates for all around the shed, and put the gables back on. I put the supporting piece over there because this piece goes all from the front to the back. It's 12 feet long. It's 2x4. Because it's 12 feet long, it doesn't sit on the support because the support is just 1.5 inches out of the 12 feet. So I had to put additional piece of wood up there and one up there with 2 screws each. And then I attached that supporting 12 foot long. So next step is, yeah, you see the markings are only on the bottom plate because I forgot to do the top plate until after the markings were complete. Still fine, I can still tell where they go. So the next step is to install the rest of the trusses. There is 5 of them total, and we'll attach them to the supporting one here so it doesn't move. And then once that is in place, then I'll use some truss supports or rafter supports to attach them to the bottom plates. So that's what I'm at. So this is how it looks like now after I install the trusses. This is just initial install, it's not the final. I need to buy some ties to connect the trusses to the bottom of the plate. You can see there they're all fine. I just used something simple as adhesive on top and just one single screw there in the middle that is 3.5 inch long, just to hold it in place so it doesn't move left or right. Then I will buy the little holder, Strong-Tie holder that goes like this, and it will clip on the truss and on the bottom plate. I didn't buy them yet, but I'll go to the store now and buy them. Seems like there is a storm coming, so I need to do something about protecting it from the rain. The rain is in the way. Alright, cheers. Alright guys, so it's been a few days since my last clip, and you can see that here I covered the whole shed with the tarp. I had to install these two panels in the back because I knew the tarp will not cover the whole shed. So even before I tried, I thought I will install the back panels. There is two of them here. So that's how it looks like. Of course I'll paint it. But after I installed them, now took me about an hour or so that night to pull this tarp up here and on top of the trusses, and then back down that other way, and do it all evenly so it fits on the sides. And I attached it with some nails. And it did rain that night and the night after. It didn't rain last night, but it's very well protected from the rain. But now I have a couple nights with no rain until the rain comes this weekend, so I'm going to work on it a little more. I'm gonna do the panels on this side. There is a total of 3 I should put up here, and if I have time tonight I'll do the other side. If not, I'll do it tomorrow night, so at least I will have only the front and the top, the roof, left to do after the weekend or whenever the rain stops. That's how it looks like here. Yeah, it rained a lot in the past 3-4 days, but it was protected. And I have these cardboards down here. You might wonder why. Just to eliminate the mud from going into the shed. Of course I'll trash these cardboards. And I added one panel here because you can see the tarp didn't cover it all, so I added one panel there just for temporarily blocking the rain. So anyway, I'm going to remove the tarp now, and I will do the panels. I also bought one of they call them Strong-Tie or Hurricane Tie brand, that connects the truss to the bottom plate. I bought only one just to make sure it fits, and then I'll buy 9 more. This is what I'm talking about here. This one here. This one was like $1.35 or something like that. The model number is there. The model number is H1Z, and it's made by Simpson Strong-Tie. All right, so get started. Alright, so I got lucky the past few nights. It didn't rain, so I completed few things, and including those panels back there. So 1, 2, 3, and then the ones in the back were already completed in my last video, but I did those 3. But before I did these, I decided to install you can see there the bracket support there for the trusses. So instead of installing them from the inside of the shed, I installed them from the outside. So before I did the side panels, I had to put these on that side, and it worked out fine. I think from the outside it's better because I have better wood opening there, good space for wood to attach the nails to. I have them here, and on the sides I just installed the regular hurricane thingy, the ties, because I only needed one side. But here is the all 5 of them on this side, 5 of them on the other side. That will give them more support in case there is strong wind. It's not gonna push the ceiling up easily. Okay, so I'm going to pause it and show you a closer look. Okay, so this is how it looks like. In some spots where I was able to, I even installed this middle nail, even though it's hard to, you know, nail it in. But if you move your hammer in a good spot, it will hit it fine. So that's why it's not all the way in, but still better than nothing. And this is another one here. So it encapsulates the bottom, and the side has the 3 nails here. And these are the standard 1.5 inch galvanized nails from the same company, Strong-Tie. I bought a big box in the beginning of video of this series of videos. I showed that. All right, so I think it is strong enough in terms of the trusses connected to the frame of the shed. So I'm gonna go ahead and now install the panels, which will go right here, and we'll cover it. This thickness here is no big deal. All right, and of course I'm putting the adhesive all around the studs before I put the panel on. All right, so as you can see here, I put a bead of adhesive all around the studs and top and bottom where the panel is going. There you go. All right, and this is the panel. It's one of these LP panels. And because I'm working by myself on this whole thing, there is no support, so I'm using things that I can do, like jigs. For example, these here, I used it all around. I measure 8 feet down, and I put one of these on each side, and then I put the panel up to try it up, make sure it fits, and adjusted a little bit. Like here you can see I adjusted it with sort of like a shim, this piece here, just to lift it up a little, and that makes it fit exactly in between the 4x8 space here. Of course I'm using my Ryobi adhesive thing here. Man, the sun is too strong. And this is the adhesive I'm using, Liquid Nails Extreme Heavy Duty. This is 450 or 458 at this time. All right, so I'm going to install it. Oh yeah, I installed this support here so the panel does not go further than what I want it to temporarily. Once it's installed, I'll remove it. All right. Well guys, there it is. 3 panels installed on the left side of the shed. So it looks really good, very strong. Just need to paint it, of course. These supports are really good. Once you put 2 of them on, you can put it up and adjust it accordingly, and once it's ready you can remove it, put the adhesive on, construction adhesive, and put it back up. It works really well. That is the top, what are they called? I don't know what they are called. Trusses, ties or something. You can see they are slightly showing, but eventually once the roof is finished, I'm supposed to put something underneath to cover them all, like I think they call it soffit, but haven't gotten to it yet. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Afterwards I need to finish the roof first, of course. Just tired of the tarp, putting it up and stuff because of the rain. All right, so that's just a quick update here. I'm gonna lower the tarp down. It's going to rain in an hour or 2, and then maybe I'll take a few days break and then come back to it and do the roof. All right, cheers. All right everyone, so Yesterday I spent some time and installed that long beam there, and that one was there I think prior in my previous video, but I don't remember. But I've got basically one on this side, one on that side, and one on the top there in between all the trusses. And of course that made sure they are 24 inches on center for the sheathing to sit properly. Then now I'm at the step. As you can see, the walls are up on two sides and the back, but the front here, I'm trying to do the front panel plus the door. So I decided to do it this way. I already measured without the glue or adhesive. I already measured exactly what I wanted to go, and now I added glue. You can see the adhesive is all over the place. Maybe this is even an overkill, but it's better to be to do it this way rather than regret later where you didn't put enough. I'm going to attach the panel, which is this one here. I'm going to attach it and completely finalize it, and then I already marked it in the back, but once it is up, I'll show you here. So there is the line, and there is the other horizontal line, not horizontal, sorry, vertical, and the bottom you see there another line. So I decided to put it up, and then once it is good to go, I will cut it from the inside using my oscillating tool. So I'm going to be using this oscillating tool or my multi-tool, whatever you want to call it, and I'm using this blade that says wood and metal on it. We'll see if it works, great. If it doesn't, then I will use a different blade, but it fits perfect, so I'll install it and then cut it. Alright, so that's where I'm at. Alright, just another quick update video. I installed this panel here on the right the other night, and I came back the following day after the glue, the adhesive was in place and everything is cured. Cut the opening, as you can see here. Now the opening cut is not pretty because I just used a reciprocating saw, this one here. That's what I used to trim it. So it's not pretty, but it is functional. So it doesn't have to be pretty as long as it's all good opening and smooth, it's fine. Then I went ahead and installed the one on the left last night, and today is fully cured and everything is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other cut here, and we'll be measuring and building the wall. So this is the inside. So I'm gonna be cutting there all around and up there. So we'll be good. You can see the opening is very good, even though I only used the reciprocating saw instead of like something like a router or cut-off tool or something like that. All right, so we'll get to it. All right, guys, so you see here the cut has been completed for the door. So the door is complete now, the opening that is. And then I wanted to do the door frame. So this is what I came up with. Looks like a ladder. The reason I did it this way is because I'm using two, let me show you, the leftover pieces from this side and that side. These are the leftover pieces. So I'm going to be using these for the door. And in the center here where they connect, they need a stud in there. So I had to use, and these fit perfectly fine. So I wanted to show you this, but for the door, I needed something in the middle that I can nail to, and the two pieces will be joined with adhesive, construction adhesive, and the nails. So that's why this piece is there. And then to prevent it from sagging left or right, over time, I installed these brackets, Strong-Tie brackets with 2 screws each in each corner, as you can see here. Now this is not a traditional door design. put these 4 brackets here. This is not traditional door design. This is one of the traditional ones you will see on a shed that you would purchase from a store like Lowe's or Home Depot. And this is my previous door that I built. I like that a lot, but that took me a while to design and do the pocket holes and all that stuff and get the angles correctly for these 2 triangle pieces, because that was not easy. So this time I wanted to avoid doing the triangle cuts, the miter cuts. So I ended up with, of course I needed the frame and then the center. So now from there, what do I do about not sagging? So I decided to do 3 pieces here, 3 pieces there, alternating, and there is adhesive, construction adhesive on both ends and 2 screws on each end, and I think now it's very, very strong. Of course, when I install the panels, I will put adhesive, construction adhesive on top of this whole thing and put the panel. Once it's cured, it will be extremely strong. I don't think it's going to be sagging at any time soon. So that is the design I have now. I'll show you once it is complete. Alright, so this is the door here complete. I haven't trimmed the edges yet, but I'll be trimming them soon. But this is how it looks like. You can see I put nails everywhere. That's to make sure the adhesive in place and it is very sturdy. Once I painted, you won't be able to see the nails. Even if you do, that's fine. I'm looking for not pretty, but sturdy and strong. The inside of it looks like this. And I'll show you a final view of it once the shed is complete, but this is how it looks like. It's very, very sturdy, very strong, and also heavy. So I may need to use 5 hinges to install it. I was thinking maybe 3 or 4 is enough, but why not? I'll just put 5 hinges. That way it is strongly attached to the frame and you know, give it better support. It's just $7 additional for 1 piece. Alright, so let's do the gable triangles now. Alright friends, so now it's time to do the front and back gable for the shed, and I wanted to make sure I utilize this last piece of LP panel that I have. This is piece number 11. I already used 10 of them. This piece number 11, I wanted to use it as efficient as possible so I can get, you know, 4 triangles for the gable. So this is the front, and from here, when I measured from here to there to the peak is 32 inches, and from here to this side is of course 48 inches or a little less, and then from the top of this LP panel to the top of the truss is 4 1/4 inches, and the same thing on this side. So to cut that, I wanted to do the one panel for both front and back gables, so I went back to the back and measured the same thing. But in the back, when I installed these panels, the back panels, I installed them 1/2 inch lower or more, so because I had more space here in the bottom, in the back. So I installed them lower about 1/2 inch, so that gave me more space here, so instead of 32 inch in the back is 32 and a half from here to the peak, and then this side was 5 1/2 instead of 4 1/4, or 5 actually, 5 instead of 4 1/4. So I had to put that into consideration. So when I came back here, this is what I did. So I measured the front right, which is this. I wanted to minimize the number of cuts I need to do, so I'm just doing this one. I mean, not doing this one, I'm skipping it because I know it's straight and good. So I just measured from here to there, 32 inch, and then from here to here, 4 1/4 inch, which will be going in there. And then once you do 4 1/4 inch, then you'll just measure from here to the 32 inch measurement mark there and draw a line, and that will give you one triangle. Now on the flip side of it, on the left, you need to use the one that has the thing that sits here. So this is kind of groove and something you put on. So I had to come back here to this side to do the front left. That will give me this lip that sits on the front right side. So here I wanted to make sure this cut is a 90-degree angle correctly, so I measured 1 inch further from here to give me sort of a playroom here. So 1 inch away, and I did 32 inches again, and then from there I did, let's see, 4 1/4 inches from this line down this way, and then I measured here, and that gives me the triangle for the front left. Now the back is a little bit different, slightly different actually, the same thing. So from here, instead of 4 1/4, I measured 5 inches to there, and then from here, instead of 32 inches, I measured 32.5, and draw the line, and that gives me the back left. Now I need the back right, and it needs to have the lip here to sit on top of the back right or back left. So this is how I did it. Again, I measured I measured from here to here to cover the distance, but I measured both ends the same measurement, so it gives me straight line, true 90-degree. And then from here I measured back this way 32.5 inch because it's going on the back, and from there 5 inch. And then once I did that, then I just drew the line to this way. So that is why you see these lines are not parallel completely. You see in the back there is closer because it's 5 inches compared to 4 1/4. Well, the end result, if all these get cut correctly with this circular saw, if everything gets cut correctly, then I should end up with 4 triangles that will fit perfectly. Plus I will have this here in the center will be left over, and it will be, you can use it for something else, but that will give me a full utilization of this last piece I have. Hopefully the circular saw will cut properly, but I wanted to explain this. Maybe you can watch this once or twice to make sure. It's a bit confusing when it was in just my brain, but once I put it on a piece of paper, then I transferred those measurements here. I had to measure like 3 times. This is my 3rd time getting it correctly. I wanted to measure multiple times to make sure I'm cutting properly instead of making a mistake and then I'm wasting a $44 piece of wood. All right, so we'll let you know or show you once it's installed. All right, so another update. It's been a few weeks. I didn't have a chance to work on it, but the last thing you saw was me cutting the little triangles there, 2 of them. So this is the front. You can see my writing still on it there. Of course, once I paint it, it should disappear. So that is the front, and same thing in the back. Okay. It's covered now actually, so you won't see it, but it's the same thing as the front, same kind of style. Another thing is I hung the door up, so there is the door. All right, it's very sturdy actually. It's heavy, but it's very sturdy door. I still need to put the handle on it. There is a big gap here, bigger than I need, so I'm gonna be, you know, fixing that from the inside. I'll just put a piece of wood and stuff. But that's how the door looks like. Of course, once it's painted, will look nicer. I'll put 5 hinges on there. Very heavy, but the 5 hinges are doing a good job keeping it, you know, smooth operation. And you can see I also added the little trims here. These are leftover LP panel pieces that I cut up, and same thing here. I already painted them twice, or a double coat in white, but it's just the leftover pieces like you see there. I cut them up to size and paint them. Cheaper than buying trims from the store, because I have this, why not use it? And then I also went ahead and installed the little piece there. Hold on, it's focusing on my finger. Okay, here you go. So I installed that little long piece. It's 16 feet long. Now of course I didn't buy a 16 feet long piece of wood. I just attached 2 of them together using this mending plate. So mending plate from both sides gives you 16, 8 feet long each, which I already had. And I already painted it, because once I do the roof, it will be hard to paint. So I painted it already, hung it. So now I need to do the ladders on the side here, the front and the back. I also already cut, painted and everything. So I needed to get these pieces of wood installed before I can do the ladders. Okay, so the door is gonna close. So this is how it looks like from the inside for now. And these are the ladders already cut. So this side will be up, where the roof panels will be sitting on, and this is going to be the side you see from the bottom. Already painted it, that way the weather will not damage the wood too much, even though the wood is pressure treated, but still I have the paint, why not use it? But that's what I have already cut up and everything. So there is 4 pieces here, 2 for the back, 2 for the front, and that is my next step. That's what I'm gonna be doing. So I'll keep you updated. Of course, once I install these, I'll have to cut this. Oh, hold on. Once I install them, I'll have to cut up this piece of wood because it's longer than needs to be. But I don't want to cut it up before installation because I'm not sure where to cut it at. So we'll do the installation first of the ladders and then cut it up. And I'm thinking maybe I can put another piece there, like a trim, but maybe not. We'll just leave it. Okay, cheers. Alright, so I took some tweaking to do to get this set up there. It's not installed yet. It is in a place, but it will be installed once I go inside. I've got the ladder inside already. I'm gonna go inside and, you know, attach the thing. But I used trigger clamps on this side to hold the bottom in place, and then the top was a bit tricky, so I used a couple more trigger clamps on one on each side, and kept it in place so it is sitting right. Just need to adjust it a little bit on top there. It's not even. I'm gonna go from the inside and do that. But this is how it's going to look like. And after I'm finished, I'm gonna cut that piece here and that additional piece here, and should be good. That's where I'm at. Hello everyone. So I completed a few things. I attached the ladder completely in, and I also painted this triangle here, or the gable. I painted it just because when I put the roof on top, it will be more difficult to paint these little corners here. So I thought I'll just paint it beforehand, and I did. Just the front one. The back one I'll do a little bit later. But the side here, I added one more of these leftover smart panel pieces. As you can see, painted it all white. The sun is very shiny today, so you may not see it as white, but for now I can tell you it's white. And I will of course do another video when it's fully complete. You will see. Here it is on the other side. Today I removed the whole tarp. I removed it all the way because this past weekend I went ahead and bought some stuff. So let me show you. I bought the plywood. I'm gonna be using 1/2 inch plywood here. Four sheets or 4 panels each. It's less than 1/2 an inch. It's like 4.56 or something, but they call it 1/2 inch. That's what 1/2 inch is. So I got that, and these are of course the 8x4. And to make it simpler for me to work with, I cut them or ripped them 3 feet wide, and the other foot standing there, I'm gonna be using this one here. I'm gonna be using it there to cover this whole area all the way down. That way dust does not come out from the outside to the inside. Once the roof is in, there's that edge, and this is covered, then the dust should not come out, go into it. So simpler to handle, 3x8 than 4x8. And then I also have 1 foot wide, or a little bit less than 1 foot. That is good enough for that, because I think that side is like 9 inches, so I'll need to rip it. I also got roofing felt. This is the number 15. The sticker is not showing, but this is the number 15. There we go. Now you see it. I got this from Lowe's. Everything from Lowe's actually. And this is the shingles. So each bag covers 33 or something square feet. So I have 168. So I got 6 of these, so I'll have some extra. Now luckily they had the ones that were used for my roof previously, so I just scanned the ones they left here and we bought the same ones, so it should be good. What else? Yeah, let me show you the clips here I'm gonna be using. So you'll need to use these are important to connect the panels. So you put at least one of these. So you see I have a big box of these. I was gonna buy a small bag. It's like $10 for 50 of these, but one time at Lowe's they had this whole box in the clearance section for $2.50. Yeah, see the writing on it there in red? $2.50. So they had 2 boxes. I picked one up, but this has way more than 50 pieces. So $2.50 is better than $10, and I've got more. So you're supposed to use these in between, so it will be, you know, sitting here, and then the next piece will sit here, and you use one of these for every 24-inch on center opening. In my case, since I have a big box of these, I think I'm going to use 2 in each place instead of 1, just because I have so many and I may never use them. Yep. And I'm going to be using these 2-inch long construction screws from GRK. Let's see. Yeah. So I use these for the flooring, and they are very good. So 2-inch, I think, very good length. So it will be like to here, and then the rest of it will be going into the rafter on top. I also went ahead and bought white dripping edge. So I'm going to be using dripping edge the whole length here and there, and then on top on both sides. You don't need or have to do the top, but I think we'll give it a better look if I do, and then also slightly will protect it from rain, because the rain will of course go down that way, but if it's pushed by the wind, then at least will be dripping properly. So that's where we are at, and the plan is to start putting the roofing panels on top. Of course you will have to scatter them, so it will be sitting sideways and then another sideways, and on top of it will be smaller piece and then the longer piece. So that length is almost 6 feet. It's not quite 6 feet from here to the peak. So I planned 4 pieces each. I bought total of 8 4x8 panels, ripped them 3 feet long or wide, 8 feet long. So I will have to use 4 pieces on each side, and that will be extra. The four pieces is still extra, so I may need to cut some. All right, so cheers. All right guys, so I installed one panel fully, which is 3x8, and it's actually not 3x8 anymore. It's more like 3x7 now. I had to cut a piece off it to make it fit on top of the joist or rafter, roof rafter. And this is the second one I installed. Now I wanted to show what I used to keep it in place. I used a piece of wood and clamp just to hold it in place until I put some screws in and remove them and, you know, continue the installation. So that's what I did here. Basically 3 clamps with 3 pieces of wood. You can do 4 if you want, but 3 is just enough. So yeah, just wanted to show that. Sorry, the sun is too shiny. It's like 95 degrees. There is no wind. I'm using my DeWalt fan, which became handy here. It's giving me plenty of air. Man, it's so hot. I'm kind of wet, just like it was raining, but no rain, of course. It's just sweat. All right, thanks. I'll do another video later. All right, so you saw earlier these 2 were there, but I completed the screwing. I put all the screws in. So what I did is all these markings there, the lines, and around I put a screw every 4 inches. I know that might be overkill, because usually it's every 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 or 12, especially in the middle there. Around maybe every 6 inch, but in the middle they say like every 8. But I did every 4 inches a screw, 2-inch long screw, the GRK ones I showed you, the whole thing. And I completed the ones on this side as well, 2 of them. So same situation, 4 inches, every 4 inches 1 screw, and it's perfect. It is like somebody is sewing a dress or something. It's very, very sturdy. So later on I'm gonna take a break, but later on I'm gonna put another piece in the middle there and one on the other side. That way they'll be staggered, and then after that I'll put 1/4 here, 1 in the back, and same thing on the other side. And that should complete the panels, the plywood panels. And then I'll do the felt and edge, dripping edge. All right, cheers. All right, just a quick update. 2 panels attached on here, and the difference from last clip and today's clip is I finished this side altogether. So I used 2 big panels on the bottom and 1 big panel on top to keep them staggered, and 1/4 on this side and 1/4 on that side, or 1/2 I should say. So that is 4 full pieces there. And you see I put a few pieces of wood here to put the panel on top of it while I went inside of the shed and went up on the ladder and pulled it up and put it in place that way. Easier. Now of course once I did that, here it is over here. So once I did that, now I can't do it for this other side just because the gap is closed. So I can't go up here and pull that up because there is no opening for me. So I have to go up on the roof, which is something I don't like to do, but I have to. I don't want to go on the roof, but I have to. So hopefully things go well and, you know, completed. All right, cheers. Guys, we just had a nasty storm, and look at the sky. It's purplish pink color. I need to go check on my shed because it got super soaked in water. I couldn't even finish the roof, and it was like sunny and everything, and then 30 minutes later it started storming and drenching, raining so hard. Guys, we just had a big storm. I couldn't finish the roof, and like it was sunny and everything, sunny and hot, humid, and then 30 minutes later we got a big nasty storm that soaked my shed. Look at this. Still raining now, but I had to run home because I got soaking wet. I barely got my power tools in the shed before it drenched us. Look at the roof, it's all wet. Not only that, I couldn't finish 2 holes here in the ceiling. Look at the shed is completely soaked in water, man. I hope everything will be fine afterwards, but man, look at this. I had that opening there. There is that opening there. And that, of course, look at that leaf. There is a leaf hanging there. It was a big storm, so branches and leaves flew everywhere. But this whole thing got wet. This whole wood area is not pressure treated. So I'm hoping this plywood is fine after it dries. I hope so. The floor, look at the floor. The floor is soaking wet. There is standing water here. Look at this, standing water. Still dripping right now. The floor though is pressure treated wood, so hopefully it will survive, but the roof, man, the roof got messed up. I hope it's fine. I read somewhere about plywood can withstand the rain once or twice, but geez. This shingle stuff I think is fine because it's supposed to be, you know, waterproof. But man, there is that opening there, and there is this one more here. And see the water drops dripping. This whole time I protected the shed with everything I have to make sure there is no water inside whatsoever. And now here we are. In the last minute before I finished the roof, got drenched in a thunderstorm, and my whole shed is wet. It's soaking wet. So I'm really upset about this, but there is no one to blame. It's just nature. This happens. So I'm hoping the roof will be fine. I think the floor will be fine. But the roof, man, it's half-inch plywood. It's not pressure treated. I hope it will survive. You know, even my door is wet. Okay, well, just wanted to capture this before before the storm goes away. It's still raining right now, but not as much. Look at what happened to the chairs, by the way. This is because of the wind. The wind pushed the tarp, and the tarp caught the chairs, and they all fell. And there is branches and leaves in my backyard from the trees around. Look at this. I'll show you later how this plywood withstand the rain. Maybe it will be a good advertisement for the company if it withstands the rain nicely. If not, then it's a bad advertisement. All right, thank you. Bye. All right, guys, so now it is 2 days after that big rain, and you can see the side of the plywood. I don't see any much damage to it, to be honest, from this side. I went up on it yesterday all the way to the top. There is not much damage. I'll take you up there in just a moment. But yeah, the water dried up. Actually, 2 hours after the rain, I came out thinking, you know, I'm gonna have to use a vacuum to suck all the water out. It was all absorbed and gone. It was wet, but it was absorbed. There was no standing water. So the floor looks fine. So no damage to the floor that I can see. There is the roof. From the inside, you can see it looks fine. I can see it here in person, looks fine. So I think exposure 1 rating is good. It allows it to be exposed to the rain once or twice or 3 times for a few hours, and it should be fine once it dries. And it seems like it did, except this piece here, I think got a little bit wavy, but that piece itself, even before it got wet, it seems like it was missing one of the plies. So it's supposed to be 4-ply sheathing, and it was like only 3. So maybe that has something to do with it, because the rest of it didn't do that. Yeah, same thing here. So yeah, of course I went back and completed that piece. The one was missing when it was raining, and the piece in the end there, so I added both of them. They are there. There are some screws holding them in place, but they're not fully screwed in. I need to get on top of the roof and do that. So the good thing also is I put screws every 4 inches, so the plywood didn't really have a chance to warp or anything like that because of so many screws, and it's just a short distance between one and the next. All right, so gonna take you up on the roof now. Hold on, wait here with me. Yeah, it's not screwed in all the way. Once I finish it, it will be better. Yeah, so that is the edge of the plywood. It's fine from what I see. Same thing on this side. Looks fine. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna try to get on top and screw everything in place so I can do the roof felt and then the shingles. All right, cheers. All right, guys, so you know how I said earlier that I'm not comfortable going up on the roof, especially the roof is just plywood. It's kind of slippery. I went ahead and ordered this harness from Amazon. This was $40, and included that rope you see up there, which includes a beefy carabiner on one end with a full absorption length of 6 feet, and the rope itself is 6 feet, and it has on the other end 2 big hooks. So to hook them, I'll show you up there in just a moment, but I'll show you the brand is here. This one. This was $40 from Amazon. And I also, since I didn't have a mounting point, I went ahead and ordered this thing from Lowe's for $14, $15. They call it Pitch Pro something. This is the name. Pitch Pro Anchor. Let me go up here and show you. I have these cardboards down here to make sure, minimize the mud when it's raining. Okay, so there is the Pitch Pro. I have this 2x4 connected on 3 different spots with 3.5-inch long screws into the rafters on 3 different sides. So this, I connected it to the 4x2 stud here. I connected it with 12 2.5-inch long screws, and it is sitting very, very tight. And I ran the 2 beefy connectors here from the harness, and the other end, let me pull it down here. There is this beefy carabiner, which I will connect to the harness, and it has this thing here in the front for sort of absorption. So when if somebody falls and the whole rope ends, then this will open up. The bag here will expand and break open, and this will expand, giving you additional 6 feet of drop. And then you will have a drop zone or safety zone of 1 meter, which is about 3 feet or so from the ground. So they give you that instruction here. So I have 6 feet of the rope and another 6 feet here. So I needed to do this here because the roof itself is 6 feet and this will be 5, so that will give me total 12. So this should be good. Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead and jump on the roof now. Hello everyone, quick update. The left side of the roof of the shed has been completed in terms of the plywood and preparing to get to the roofing felt. So what I did here, I of course put the screws all over and attached the plywood, and then I added see that silver stuff there? It's flashing tape. So I decided to go and put flashing tape in between, well, not in between, on top of where the 2 pieces of plywood meet to cover it. It is a rubberized tape, and with the heat it sticks to it and becomes like a sealant. So this flashing tape of course is used for windows and doors to prevent water from going in when they install them. So I thought I'll do that. I had some left over from 2 years ago when I did the windows on my other shed, and I decided to buy some more. So this is how it looks like. This is the 4-inch wide and 33 feet long roll, and this is the one I got. This is the brand I got from Lowe's. I remember it was like $6 2 years ago. I think I don't remember, but now when I bought them they were 11 something a roll. So this is, you can see here, it's 33 feet long and 4-inch wide flashing tape. I also noticed the roll from 2 years ago, it had the branding and stuff written on it. This one doesn't, it's just silver. Just fine, it doesn't matter to me. This is the roll here. This is how it looks like. So you remove this backing here and it's kind of rubberized. And it's not necessary, but I went ahead and done it anyway, thinking, if the rain or water goes under the shingles, goes under the roofing felt, and it goes on top of the wood, then it's still not going to go inside of the shed. It will just stay on the wood here and drain out. That's the idea behind it. And if I want to do it, now is the time to do it. So I went ahead and done it. I bought 2 rolls, cost me $24, and plus the leftover from last time. So I did the top connectors and the long way, and then the top of the peak there also I put long tape covering both sides. So by the way, you see the hook here, harness rope I used last time I showed it in the video. These 2 hooks were on the other end where the anchor is, and the carabiner was on this end. You can do it either or. I went ahead and done it this way because these 2 hooks connect to the 2 connectors in the front of my harness instead of to the back. I couldn't do it on the back. I couldn't reach it, and it's not long enough for me because it's a, you know, just a shed. But that's why you see them here. They work either or, but to me it was simpler to put the hook here instead of the carabiner. Just a note. And I also went ahead and installed the dripping edge. I put the nail in every 6 inches, and I left a space here. Let's see. So I left a spacing underneath. You don't have to, but I thought the purpose of the dripping edge is for the water to come this way and drips down and comes out and it goes this way. But if it is too close to the wood, it might still, you know, land on the wood. So I put my fingers underneath, and I just left a little bit of space. That way, if it goes back a little tiny bit, it's not going to go hit the wood. It will just drop down. So that is why. And you don't have to do it, but went ahead and did a drip edge on the bottom and on the top there, and on the top there also, both sides. So now I'm gonna put the roofing felt and start doing the shingles. Hopefully get finished with this one at lunchtime, and we'll do the other side hopefully the end of the day, but be finished. I'm hoping. Things are dragging a little bit. All right, cheers. Alright guys, so I spent a couple hours here and during the afternoon, hot hours, and I completed this part only. So that's like 4 or 5 rows of shingles. Now I have to get up there and do the second layer of, the second part of the roofing felt before I move on to the top. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for the next couple hours. Even when it gets dark, it's fine, because otherwise it's just too hot. It was 97 degrees with no wind. The app says the wind speed was 2 miles an hour. That's no wind at all. All right, cheers. Guys, it rained on me again. This rain thing, man, it's happening every 2 days, 2-3 days. There is big rain. I couldn't even finish one side, man. Look at this. Oh my goodness. My roofing felt there all got wet. And this side here, all these panels got wet again. This is the second time. Look at this. This is the second time. Got wet again. Don't know what to do about that. It's act of God, I guess. The rain is natural thing. I just couldn't do it fast enough. So that's where we are. What can you do? Guys, today there is still going on extreme extreme thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms. And now it slowed down a little bit, so I came out here to check my shed, and man, it hurts. If I could go back, I would paint these panels. I have paint. I thought about doing it. I thought about painting these panels and make them, waterproof. but I didn't do it, and now I regret that, but it's too late. If you are doing this and you expect it to last several days before you finish the roof, I would suggest if you have paint, go ahead and paint it to save yourself the trouble of having damaged roof panels. So hopefully, this has been soaking in rain for like 3 hours, 4 hours now, unfortunately, and you can hear it. It is getting stronger now. It slowed down a little bit, now it's stronger again. So sad. Alright guys, so I finally completed this half of the roof. It was raining almost every day or all 2 days, and it was just wet. I could not finish it. So I finally got it completed, finished 2 days ago. A total amount of rain, or not amount, total hours of continuous rain on this roof was, I want to say, between 6 to 8 hours total in between all the times that it rained. So those panels, the plywood panels, were exposed to the rain for about a total of 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours, but not continuously, all cumulative. So it was about an hour or so one time, an hour or so one time, and then another 4 hours or so another time. So 3-4 times there, continuous rain. But I eventually got that half completed, and then I came over here last night and I completed half of this half. So that is a total of 70% complete. So it will be another 25% to complete it all the way to the top. I want to say like the peak would be 5% of the total work. So another 30% I'll be done. Let me go up here, or before I go up there and show you. So I used the drip edge right there, a drip edge, and I left a space for the shingles about 1 inch coming off from there. And this goes all around from the top all the way down here and all the way to the end and up there, all the same. That way it's much better water disbursement when it rains, especially when it's a heavy rain. All right, so let me go up here. I didn't show details on how to do this because it's kind of explained in many other different videos on YouTube, so you can specifically find them on YouTube and, you know, do that. But in my case, I didn't do it because many others did it better than I did, or I would do. So I added the roofing felt, of course, which is this one here. This is just the number 15, and in some spots, because I was rolling it, using a roll, rolling it this way, at some point, because I was using electrical, not battery operated stapler, there was a vibration while I'm putting staples in. So the roll was vibrating down slightly every single time. So eventually it got to like was twisted. It wasn't parallel to the wood. So that's why you see those too many staples there. So I had to push it up. So that gave me something here needed to be repaired. So I moved it this way and put staples in there, too many staples, and then used the hammer to dampen it down. It was all good, so nothing wrong with that. The next part is put another roofing felt here and put the shingles, then we'll be doing the peak. So hopefully I'll be finished by tomorrow night. You know, total maybe, I want to say 4 to 5 hours. That's just because it's me and I do things slow, but I also do it correct, and I'm not a roofer. There is that tape we talked about before. That is the roofing flashing tape. I mean, not roofing, flashing tape. So that helps with water drainage. So anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead now and put the roofing felt, the last part of it. In the meantime, let me show you, maybe I showed this already, but don't remember. I'll just show you quickly the stapler I'm using. So I'm using this stapler. They call it crown stapler. It's the M12 version from Milwaukee, and I'm using these staples, 3/8 staples, which is 10 millimeter, and that's very good. And I'm using the 1 1/4 inch nails, roofing nails, 1 1/4 inch. I have the 2-inch ones, but I think they are maybe too long. 1 1/4 inch are long enough. These are small boxes I got from Walmart. They were $4 each, less than $4 from Walmart. So, and this is my harness I showed you before. So I connect this to the anchor, and I connect these to my not harness, by the way, this is rope, not harness. So this rope connects to my harness using these two, one on each side, and this connects to the anchor. So it feels safe. And plus I will add, later on when I'm going up here, I will add a 2x4, the length of the roof, and that way I will have a step, something to step on to balance. Otherwise I tried it without a piece of wood and it was not fun. I could not balance there, I couldn't do anything. So the piece of wood makes you more stable. Alright, so I will do that, and once I'm finished I will remove the piece of wood, and at that point we will talk about how to seal those holes, because there will be holes in there. And I bought, where is it? This thing. I bought this thing to use to seal the holes. The same brand as the roofing felt. This is rubberized flashing cement. So this should be good. This was like $7 for just one tube. I don't need it all, but they don't sell a small one, I don't think. All right, so we'll do that and show you later. All right, friends, so here you see it's completed, and what I did here is when I was doing the top portion, all of that top portion, I did the peak with it. So while I was doing the shingles this way, I was also completing the peak also with it all together all the way up, and the thing is finished now. The roof is complete. I only had to remove the pieces of wood that I had sitting here and on the other side, and fill out the holes with the roofing cement I showed you last time. I'm going to show you here one of the biggest pieces that I had to use the cement on, or spots, is this one here. So this is when I put the anchor for my rope and harness over here. So that is why it's big. There was 12 screws going into it to hold the anchor in place. So this is the biggest piece, and from down there you can't really see it, but I just wanted to show you how it looks like. So that's how it looks like when it's done and it's dry. So the way I did it is you put the roofing cement, and it almost feels like a sticky peanut butter, black color, and then you would use some like a metal spatula, and you just kind of flatten it out on top. And once you do, overnight it will dry up and becomes like this. So this is waterproof, completely sealed. After a while there will be some small particles from the top layers of shingles will drop down and maybe stick here, and it will be blending in just fine. There is another piece here, another piece there, and of course 4 big pieces there for the 4 nails I put on the last piece of the peak. Here is some more over here. I don't know why this is discolored, but I suspect it's birds dropping that just happened to drop on it while it was drying or something, I don't know. But overall it's very nice roof. I'm very happy with it. It took me a while. By the way, this shingles, or any shingles, gets super hot when it is, when I was doing this was in the afternoon and the temperature was between 90 and 100 degrees. and this thing was maybe 150 degrees because it was burning my butt while I'm sitting on it doing the roof. If I turn over on my side, it burns my side, but I had to do it to get the thing done, otherwise it will just sit there. So keep that in mind. What is nice about that is the shingles themselves become very soft and pliable, so it was easy to cut them, easy to conform them to the shape that I needed, like the peak. Now the next step would be to do the soffit underneath, and you see these blue tapes, these are markings for the rafters, so I will know where the rafters are after I put the soffit on. And for the soffit, I measured here and it is 10.5 inches. So for that, I'm using the leftover pieces of plywood. Here is leftover pieces. Of course, I already painted them. So this is how they look like, right? So one side is going to be the one exposed to the elements. So I did 2 coats of primer. I'll show you the primer I used. It's this one here, made by Kills. I've used it before, but I had a big gallon of it and I haven't used it much. So I used this Kills. It's interior, exterior primer. So I used 2 coats of it on each piece, including this one. And I used 2 coats of the gray color paint that I'm going to be using for the whole shed, which is that one there. So I used two coats on each piece. So you see they look really smooth and nice, almost like furniture pieces. So I'm very happy with that. It took a while to do, of course, but it's to be protected. This is plywood, completely not protected against the weather. And then this is a piece of 2x4. Did the same thing with it, but this is a different color paint. I used this color here for this part. So that piece I showed you is going here, because when the door is closed there is a gap. So I'm gonna put this thing here and it will kind of close the gap. And I have some weather stripping, or they call it weather protection tape, something like that. I'm gonna put on top of around the trim of the door, so when it's closed it's kind of sealed. So when I put the soffit on, hopefully close it very tight, but I will also need some ventilation. So I'm getting these used. These are metal, 3 inches wide. The 4 inches wide are better, but they don't sell them single pieces. This was $15 for 6. The 4 inches one is like $10 or $15 a piece, so I didn't want that. So I bought the 3-inch ones. These are metal, and the idea is to put one of these in between each rafter, so it will be every 2 feet, because 24 inches between the rafters there. That will be one here and one there and one there. So, and that should be good enough ventilation. All right, so that's where I'm at. I will show you a little bit later when I'm finished with the soffit. I think I'm gonna hang the soffits now and do the door and do the ventilations here. I'm also running the cables and stuff, but I'll show you that later. Alright, so it's been a few weeks since my last video, and I talked in my last video about the soffit panels and ventilation and wiring stuff. So I want to show you what I did in those past few weeks. I installed the soffit, as you can see there. There is the soffit, and you see the ventilation holes. I installed one ventilation hole in between each 2 rafters, so it's like 2 feet in between each hole. So there is 6 of them altogether. And as you can see also, I completed the paint job for the whole shed, and I used the same gray color I used for the top there before. I used it all over. And I also added the trim here. This is for aesthetics mostly. Where the two panels connect, I used the trim here, which makes it look really awesome. And on the top, I also added that trim, which was in my original plan to start with. This was not in my original plan. I just added it because I have these, so I thought let me just use them. And I also, you see, I painted the door. Of course, the door was installed, and now you can see how nice it looks when the gray color is added, and the color and the panels match the top very well. I also installed the handle, the latch, and there is one of these outdoor rated Stanley padlock. They don't sell these anymore. I bought them 2 years ago, 4 of them from Amazon. I also installed some lighting. As you can see, light fixtures. There is that one on top, which is connected to that switch. You control it from there. And I also installed these lights here, bulkhead lights, and you can see the back of the light, these pieces of the wood. These are just a standard pressure treated 1x6x8 I had before. I cut it into smaller sections like this. I think it's 9 or 10 inches. Painting them white color with the same paint, which is outdoor paint. Oh, is that a squirrel? Yeah, that's a squirrel, I think. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Oh, 2 of them. You see that? There's 2 of them. There is 2. There is one. There is one there. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Let's not get distracted with the squirrels. How are you liking your... What do you think of Daddy Shed?
What do you think about Daddy Shed?
Is Daddy Shed? Okay. Well, let's go back to the topic here. So I used these panels, and the reason I did is because these bulkhead lights supposed to be installed on something smooth, so they will become watertight. And of course, this is not smooth. If you put them here, the water will seep in no matter what. So I put them on something like that, and now they are watertight. I installed a total of 7, so there is 2 here, 2 on that side, and I have 2 more on this side, and they look awesome, by the way. And this is the back, and there is one on the very top there. And they take a standard bulb, you know, so I put LED bulbs in these, and I set them up with a smart switch, and that smart switch has a timer, and it runs when it gets dark at night until the morning, and it shuts off by itself, which is awesome. All right. So I also added an outlet here for the outside in case it's needed. So there is one here, and there is another one on this side. You know, in case you need it, is there. What else? And I also ran the power to it. So the way I did it is I got power, or let me just show you. So this shed had power, and I extended it from here, extended from here down into the ground, and buried it underground, and brought it up here, and it's up here in this middle shed, and it goes in and it connects and then it comes out again, because I needed power in this shed too for lights. So I did that and came down here, gone into ground, and come out here, and it comes up from the ground and all the way up, and it's in there now. So that's how I ran it. This is an underground direct burial rated cable. So I dug a hole that was maybe 6 to 8 inches deep, and I did it when it was too much rain and the ground was soaked with water, so I use the shovel, and you just kind of put it in and you push it left right, and it makes you like a triangle shaped hole easily. So that's what I did. Yeah, so that's how it looks like from the outside. And yeah, since I was here, I should have shown you this too. This is how the anchors look like after the shed is complete. So the anchors are like that, keeping the skids in place. Same thing with this one here, you know. It's very sturdy shed, very good. I think I did a fantastic job on this, considering I'm just by myself and I have no construction experience or anything like that. So the only thing missing for now is you can see the vents there, and this is for the intake. So in the summertime, air will go in to the inside and it needs to vent out. So I need to put vents in the back, and also I need to put a ramp here, set it up so that every time you go in and out, no dirt will be coming with the shoes inside. I'll put a ramp here, so that will be my next thing. And the vents will be going, exhaust vents will be going up there. So I'm thinking maybe one on the right, one on the left of that light, and that way hot air come in and will rise up, but it will escape from there. So that's the plan. Yeah, so now I'm gonna show you inside. Actually, let me show you. This is the outside light, and I'll show you later when it's darker and these are on. Let me show you inside.
Daddy?
Yes, baby.
You are Bob the Builder.
I'm Bob the Builder?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so I also installed this ground anchor here. This is 18-inch long. 12-inch was too short, so 18-inch is barely making it to keep the door from closing while I'm having it in use. Inside, let's go inside. So I installed these two lights and turn them on now. So of course completed the wiring. So the wires coming in here, this intersection, not intersection, connection box, and they go up, they go left and right, and the one on back to the back light. So they go left, and there is outlet here, and there is some connections here. This is for the light inside, and there is an outlet, and there is that junction box, and going up to that light. And on this side I have same setup for the outlets, and I have this smart outlet here, smart switch for the scheduling and stuff. So it's off right now, but I can turn them on. So we'll take a look here. You see them on now. They look awesome, by the way. I really like them. And they are LEDs, so they don't consume too much power, just like 9 watt each. Yeah. So they look awesome. And the scheduling made it simpler, and yeah. So the plan is to install these cobalt kind of cabinets here, so I can put my tools. I purchased these a while ago. I'll do a separate video on these, this one and this one here, but I purchased them a while ago, and I'm going to install them, one on this side and one on this side, or I might do one here and one there. I haven't decided yet, but it should be cool. And I have these two lights here will be light up. Okay, so that is it. I will show a final clip later and we'll go from there. Alright, so this is how it looks like at night. Very beautiful, very functional. It lights up the area with these lights. They are set up on a smart schedule. They turn on at sundown and turn off at sunrise in the morning. Very pleased with it. See the back. This is how the back looks like. Very cool. Yeah, it lights up the area here. Turn on this light using the switch. There you go. Additional brightness in case you need to work here in the front, or I need to work here in the front. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching this whole video with me. I know it's been long, but it's a big project and I'm all by myself. So today is the last day of 2023. So in a few hours, actually tonight, midnight, in a few hours, it will be 2024. So I wish everyone a happy new year ahead. And thank you so much for watching this whole video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. And if you have comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and share the video. Alright, thank you so much. Bye bye.